Have you ever watched a dog follow its owner from room to room, like the whole house only makes sense when that person is nearby? Or seen a cat act completely independent all day, then suddenly curl beside one human like that body is the safest place in the room? It is tempting to ask a very human question. Do animals think we are their parents? The honest answer is strange. Probably not in the way a child thinks of a mother or father. But many animals may still place humans into a mental category that feels very close to parent, protector, provider, teacher, or safe base. To understand why, we have to stop asking whether animals understand the word parent. We have to ask what a parent is from an animal's point of view. For many young animals, a parent is not a title. It is a pattern. It is the warm body that appears when you are cold, the moving shape that leads you toward food, the familiar smell that means safety, the larger creature that reacts when you cry, call, squeak, bark, chirp, or panic. Before an animal knows anything about family trees, it can learn this simple rule: stay near the being that keeps you alive. In birds, this can become almost comically obvious. Some newly hatched birds are prepared to follow the first suitable moving object they see. In the wild, that object is usually a mother, but in unusual circumstances, it can be a boot, a human, a bucket, or something even less qualified for parenting. This is why the classic image of little birds waddling after a scientist feels funny and unsettling at the same time. The birds are not thinking, "This tall mammal is my biological mother." Their brain is doing something older and simpler. Follow the right kind of moving thing during the right window of life. That is not human parenthood, but it is a survival attachment. With mammals, the story becomes softer, messier, and more emotional. A puppy does not need to understand human language to learn that one person brings food, opens doors, offers warmth, and returns after leaving. Over time, the human becomes part of the puppy's emotional map. The dog may explore more confidently when that person is nearby. It may become stressed when they disappear. And when they return, the dog may greet them as if the missing center of the universe has been restored. This is why dog-human bonds can look so much like attachment. Not because dogs secretly think in family labels, but because they can use humans as a source of security. To a dog, you may be part pack member, part provider, part roommate, part emotional weather system, and part magical door-opening giant. That last role is important. Animals do not see us from inside our human self-image. They do not know our jobs, our passwords, our embarrassing search history, or the fact that we are just improvising most of life. They know the patterns we create. You wake up, food appears. You pick up keys, absence is coming. You sit on the couch, warmth becomes available. You touch the leash, the outside world opens. From that perspective, humans can look less like parents in a human sense and more like powerful, predictable forces. For cats, the question gets even more interesting because cats often look like they do not need anyone. But many cats still show attachment behaviors toward familiar caregivers. They may explore, hide, return, rub, vocalize, or relax differently depending on whether their human is present. A cat may not see you as a parent, but it may see you as the creature that controls food, territory stability, warmth, and the emotional safety of a room. Which is funny, because many cat owners think the cat owns the room and the human is just allowed to pay rent. Farm animals can make the question even bigger. A lamb bottle fed by a human may run toward people with a confidence it would not show toward strangers. A calf raised around humans may treat human presence as normal, safe, or even socially important. A young animal that receives food, touch, warmth, and protection from humans can grow around that pattern. But this does not mean every tame animal thinks every human is a parent. Animals separate familiar from unfamiliar, safe from unsafe, routine from threat. The same species can treat one human like a trusted caretaker and another like a suspicious tree that learned to walk. Wild animals remind us where the limit is. A deer in a city may learn that humans are part of the landscape. A raccoon may learn that humans produce trash. A pigeon may learn that humans drop crumbs. But learning that humans are useful is not the same as believing humans are family. To many wild animals, we are not parents. We are obstacles, food machines, predators, background noise, or giant, unpredictable mammals with bags. So the real answer depends on the animal, its species, its age, its early experience, and the role humans played in its life. If a human appeared during the most important learning window, fed the animal, protected it, touched it gently, and returned again and again, the animal may build a bond around that human. Not necessarily a human concept of parent, but something more ancient. This is the being I return to when the world becomes too big. And maybe that is why the question feels so powerful. When an animal looks at us with trust, we want to know what category we occupy in its mind. Are we parents, friends, giants, servants, weather, gods with thumbs? The answer may be that animals do not need our categories. They do not need to call us mother or father to depend on us. They do not need to understand family to feel safety. They do not need to see us as humans to know that one particular creature makes the world less frightening. And that may be the humbling part. To another mind, you are not the full story you tell yourself. You may simply be a smell, a sound, a routine, a hand, a shadow by the door, a warm shape on the couch. But if an animal trusts you enough to sleep beside you, follow you, or come back when scared, then in its own strange language, it has already answered. Maybe you are not its parent, but you are one of the beings its small world is built around.